We are counting down the top 10 strongest armies in the world for 2025. A global ranking where firepower, technology, manpower, and strategy collide. From nations leveraging nuclear deterrence on tight budgets to high-tech forces pioneering stealth and hypersonics, each entry brings unique strengths and surprises. Which military superpower will claim the #1 spot? Let us begin the countdown, starting with number 10. Pakistan commands one of the world's largest ground forces, with over 1.5 million active and reserve personnel, all sustained on a defense budget just above $10 billion. Nuclear deterrence remains its cornerstone. The arsenal includes Shaheen ballistic missiles and Babur cruise missiles, both capable of delivering nuclear payloads and kept at high readiness. Despite fiscal pressure and international scrutiny, Pakistan's nuclear program is insulated from cuts, funded through off-budget channels and discrete regional partnerships, especially with China. The army fields more than 3,700 tanks and 1,400 aircraft, and maintains the elite Special Service Group for rapid response missions. In South Asia's tense security environment, this combination of manpower, credible atomic deterrence, and strategic alliances secures Pakistan's place among the top 10 military powers. Japan's military strength in 2025 stands on a foundation of advanced technology and a sweeping doctrinal change. With 309,000 active personnel and a $53.2 billion defense budget, Japan fields 1,449 aircraft and 1,004 tanks, but its true edge comes from layered missile defense and rapid modernization. 8 Aegis-equipped destroyers patrol its waters, ready to intercept ballistic threats with SM-3 Block 2A missiles, while PAC-3 MSE systems shield key cities. In 2024, Japan reinterpreted its constitution, granting authority for preemptive strikes against imminent threats, a move that drew fierce debate at home and recalibrated its role in regional security. Space-based early warning systems and investments in AI-driven surveillance are reshaping response times. The FX 6th-generation fighter program, developed with the UK and Italy, aims to secure air dominance well into the next decade. Deep integration with US forces offsets a smaller troop count, positioning Japan as a technological powerhouse in Asia's defense landscape. Italy stands as the Mediterranean's premier shipbuilder, with a defense industry anchored by Fincantieri and Leonardo. The Italian armed forces field 297,000 personnel and operate on a $37.6 billion budget, but their influence extends far beyond those numbers. Italian yards turn out FREMM frigates for both domestic use and export, supplying NATO partners and bolstering European naval strength. The Navy's 249 vessels include the Cavour-class aircraft carrier, a platform designed for amphibious operations and rapid deployment across regional sea lanes. Air power is supported by 862 aircraft, while 200 tanks form the backbone of Italy's mobile ground forces. Participation in the Global Combat Air Program, alongside the UK and Japan, signals a commitment to 6th-generation fighter development. Italy's role as a regional guardian is reinforced by its ability to project power, secure critical maritime routes, and export advanced platforms, making it a vital pillar in NATO's southern flank and a bridge to broader European defense collaboration. France stands apart as Europe's only fully independent nuclear power, maintaining its own atomic strike force known as the Force de Frappe, outside of foreign command. With 415,000 military personnel and a defense budget of $51.4 billion, France balances strategic autonomy with a modern combat-ready arsenal. The Rafale fighter, combat-proven across multiple theaters, anchors both air defense and long-range strike missions. French aircrews have flown hundreds of sorties in the Sahel and the Middle East, demonstrating rapid deployment and operational reach well beyond national borders. Below the waves, Barracuda-class nuclear attack submarines patrol with advanced stealth and strike capabilities, reinforcing France's second strike option. The Navy fields 180 vessels, including the Charles de Gaulle, Europe's only nuclear-powered carrier. On land, 406 tanks and a network of elite forces, like the Foreign Legion and Commandos Marine, enable swift intervention from Africa to the Indo-Pacific. This blend of sovereign deterrence, expeditionary tradition, and high-end technology secures France's position among the world's strongest armies, bridging European independence and global military relevance. South Korea's military in 2025 stands at a crossroads of tradition and cutting-edge innovation. With 3.82 million personnel, a $46.3 billion defense budget, and a relentless focus on indigenous technology, Seoul has transformed from a regional bulwark into a global exporter of advanced arms. The KF-21 Borame fighter, developed by Korea Aerospace Industries, completed its first flight in 2022 and is now entering series production. This stealth-capable jet, designed with domestic and allied input, is set to anchor the Air Force for decades, offering a homegrown answer to regional fifth-generation threats. On the ground, the K-2 Black Panther tank, once a symbol of national defense, has become a European staple, with Poland's order in 2022 for 800 units, marking one of the largest armored deals of the decade. South Korea's arsenal includes 1,592 aircraft and 2,236 tanks, backed by a sophisticated THAAD-linked radar network for missile defense. Beyond hardware, cyber operations have redefined the battlefield. Unit 404, operating in the shadows, reportedly breached North Korean missile telemetry in 2023, giving Seoul a digital edge in real-time threat tracking. These advances, paired with robust U.S. alliances, position South Korea as a rising force whose influence now extends far beyond the peninsula. Sea power and strategic intelligence propel the United Kingdom into the top 5. At the heart of Britain's deterrent lies the continuous patrol of Vanguard-class submarines, each armed with Trident II D5 missiles. These submarines operate under strict secrecy, ensuring that at least one is always at sea, ready to respond to any existential threat. The Dreadnought class, now under construction, will soon take over this silent watch, equipped with updated nuclear command systems and advanced stealth features. Britain's naval fleet, numbering 80 units, includes 2 modern carriers and a growing network of Type 26 frigates. These warships are fitted with next-generation sonar and sensor arrays, designed to detect threats across vast ocean expanses and share real-time intelligence with allies. The UK's military strength extends far beyond its hardware. With 227,000 highly trained personnel and a defense budget of nearly $68 billion, the British Armed Forces maintain a global presence, from the Falklands to the Middle East. Integration with the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance amplifies their reach, allowing for rapid information sharing and coordinated operations with partners like the United States, Canada, and Australia. Air power is anchored by 567 aircraft, while elite units such as the Special Air Service and Royal Marines specialize in rapid response missions, counter-terrorism, and covert operations. These forces are often the first in and the last out, called upon for crises ranging from hostage rescues to counterinsurgency campaigns. Continuous investment in new technologies, like the Tempest Future Fighter and autonomous underwater vehicles, ensures that the UK remains at the cutting edge of military innovation. The blend of nuclear deterrence, global mobility, and intelligence-driven operations sets the British military apart, establishing a European benchmark for professionalism and strategic depth. India fields the world's largest all-volunteer military, with over 5.1 million personnel ready to serve. That immense scale is matched by a $75 billion defense budget and a drive to build at home what others import. Tanks roll out of Indian factories, 4,201 in service, while the Navy commands 293 vessels, including 2 aircraft carriers and a growing fleet of nuclear-powered submarines. The Arihant class, India's first domestically built ballistic missile submarine, now patrols the Indian Ocean. closing the loop on a nuclear triad that stretches from land-based Agni missiles to air-launched and sea-based deterrents. In the air, the Tejas Mk-1A fighter has become a symbol of India's technological ambition. Built by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, the Tejas line is expanding, and in 2025, an all-women's sortie at Aero India captured headlines across the world. Female fighter pilots, now a visible force in the cockpit, have shaped the design and systems of the latest Tejas variants, pressing for improved avionics and ergonomic upgrades. Their feedback led to new helmet systems and targeting pods, weaving inclusion into the very hardware of the Air Force. India's push for strategic autonomy runs through every branch. Indigenous programs, from the Arjun tank to the Akash missile and the Arihant submarine, aim to reduce dependence on foreign suppliers. Still, global partnerships remain vital. The S-400 air defense system, ordered from Russia, has faced delivery delays due to the Ukraine conflict, testing India's balancing act between East and West. At the same time, India's participation in the Quad Alliance and regular exercises with the United States, Japan, and Australia underline its growing influence in the Indo-Pacific. With a blend of manpower, homegrown innovation, and global alliances, India stands at the threshold of great power competition. Its military is not just large, it is evolving, aiming to match numbers with next-generation technology and a new generation of leaders. China's military machine in 2025 is defined by scale and speed. With 3.17 million personnel and a defense budget of $267 billion, the People's Liberation Army has become the world's second-largest spender, channeling resources into a transformation that is visible from the shipyards of Jiangnan to the airfields of Guangdong. The Navy's fleet now stands at 754 vessels, more than any other nation, ranging from stealthy Type 055 destroyers to new nuclear submarines, all rolling out at a pace that has upended global naval balance. At the center of this surge is the aircraft carrier Fujian, China's first flat-deck supercarrier equipped with electromagnetic catapults. In 2024, engineers and officers worked through technical setbacks, failed launches, underpowered catapults, endless revisions, until the Fujian completed successful sea trials. With this, China joined the United States and France as the only nations to field electromagnetic launch systems at sea. The Fujian's electromagnetic launch system opens the door for heavier, more advanced aircraft, including future stealth drones, to launch with greater efficiency and range. In the air, the J-20 Mighty Dragon stealth fighter is entering mass service. Over 200 have been delivered, with squadrons now patrolling the East and South China Seas. The Air Force's inventory has grown to 3,309 aircraft, all linked by a rapidly advancing AI-enabled command network. The Strategic Support Force, integrating cyber, electronic warfare, and space-based intelligence, gives commanders a real-time edge in targeting and battlefield awareness. Missile forces are protected by a layered shield of HQ-19 and HQ-26 interceptors, and a growing fleet of mobile launchers. The scale of production is relentless. New destroyers, submarines, and amphibious ships roll out in succession, while missile batteries and armored units are fielded in numbers that overwhelm regional rivals. China's modernization is driven by a doctrine where sensors, data, and precision weapons are as vital as ships and tanks. The Navy now projects power from the Indian Ocean to the Pacific, marking a new era of global competition. Russia's armed forces in 2025 stand as a formidable blend of traditional mass and next-generation weaponry. They hold the number 2 spot worldwide. With 3,570,000 personnel and a defense budget of $126 billion, Russia fields the world's largest active tank fleet, 5,750 units, ranging from upgraded T-72 and T-90 tanks to a limited number of T-14 armadas. On the front lines, tank columns remain the backbone of Russian ground operations. But recent combat has forced a hard reckoning. In Ukraine, commanders posted raw accounts of depleted ammunition and battered morale, revealing the cost of high-intensity warfare and the need for rapid adaptation. Those battlefield lessons have driven a doctrinal overhaul. Tactics are shifting from massed artillery barrages to precision, drone-guided strikes with tighter integration of electronic warfare brigades. Russian air power is anchored by 4,292 aircraft, including Su-35s, Su-34s, and a handful of Su-57 stealth fighters. Production of advanced platforms has slowed under sanctions, but the Air Force continues to fly frequent sorties supported by dense air defense networks. The S-500 Prometei system, now operational in limited numbers, extends Russia's anti-access reach. It is capable of intercepting ballistic missiles and even low-orbit satellites. This layered shield is designed to blunt conventional and nuclear threats, reinforcing Moscow's claim to strategic depth. Russia's edge in hypersonic weapons is a defining feature of its arsenal. The Kinzhal air-launched missile, deployed from MiG-31K interceptors, and the Avangard hypersonic glide vehicle, fitted atop intercontinental ballistic missiles, are both in active service. Kinzhal reaches speeds up to Mach 10 and a range exceeding 2,000 kilometers, while Avangard is designed for unpredictable maneuvering at over Mach 20, challenging Western missile defenses. Electronic warfare has become a signature strength. Dedicated brigades, field jammers, and cyber units capable of disrupting enemy communications, drones, and GPS signals on contested battlefields. Proven in Ukraine and Syria, these capabilities give commanders a toolkit for asymmetric disruption, offsetting some industrial and logistical strains imposed by sanctions. Despite setbacks and attrition, Russia's military continues to reform and rearm. Production priorities have shifted to replenish frontline stocks, with older Soviet-era platforms reactivated to fill gaps. The combination of sheer numbers, combat experience, and a credible hypersonic deterrent ensures Russia remains a central player in global military affairs, one whose actions and innovations reverberate far beyond its borders. No other military on Earth rivals the United States in scale, reach, and technological ambition. With over 2.1 million active personnel and a defense budget approaching $900 billion, the United States commands an arsenal that spans continents and domains. More than 750 overseas bases form a global lattice, enabling rapid deployment from the Arctic to the South China Sea. At the heart of American power is a networked force: land, air, sea, cyber, and space. Knit together by the Joint All-Domain Command and Control System, JADC2. This digital backbone allows commanders to synchronize satellites, drones, fighter jets, and infantry in real time, turning raw data into battlefield advantage. Air dominance remains unmatched. The United States fields 13,043 military aircraft, including the world's largest stealth fleet. The F-22 Raptor, still the only operational fifth-generation air superiority fighter, flies alongside hundreds of F-35s, each packed with sensors and electronic warfare suites. The B-2 Spirit bomber continues its silent patrols, but eyes are now on the B-21 Raider, America's next-generation stealth bomber. The B-21 completed its first test flights in late 2024, promising deeper penetration and longer reach for decades to come. On the ground, American armor and artillery are backed by a relentless modernization drive. The Army's next-generation combat vehicle program is field-testing prototypes designed to outmatch any rival, while precision strike missiles and advanced air defenses anchor forward bases from Europe to the Pacific. The Navy commands 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers and a fleet of 440 ships. But the true advantage lies in logistics. United States supply chains move fuel, ammunition, and troops across oceans at a pace no competitor can match, sustaining operations far from home for months on end. The nuclear triad, land-based Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missiles, Trident armed submarines, and stealth bombers, remains the ultimate deterrent. Elite units like the Navy SEALs and Delta Force stand ready for missions ranging from counter-terrorism to hostage rescue, drawing on decades of global experience. Recent years have brought new challenges. The much-publicized AGM-183A hypersonic missile program suffered a high-profile failure in 2024, exposing the risks of rushing unproven technology to the field. Congressional hearings followed, and the Pentagon split its hypersonic roadmap between the Air Force and the Navy, fueling debate over America's next leap in deterrence. Yet setbacks have not slowed the pace of innovation. AI-enabled drones, cyber operations by United States Cyber Command, and directed energy weapon prototypes are all in active development. Alliances amplify every advantage. As a founding member of NATO and a core partner in the Quad and AUKUS, the United States shapes global security architecture. Its joint exercises and intelligence sharing extend deterrence well beyond its own borders. In 2025, the American military stands not just as a collection of hardware or numbers, but as a fully integrated force, capable of projecting power anywhere, responding to any crisis, and adapting faster than any rival. This combination of budget, technology, logistics, and alliance depth secures the United States' place at the very top of the world's military rankings. Across all 10 armies, one pattern stands out. True military power now demands relentless adaptation. Nations invest billions not just in weapons but in new technologies and alliances, knowing that strength is always shifting. In 2025, dominance is not static. It is a race to redefine what is possible. In this new era, military might is a moving target. Every country is recalibrating for the battles ahead.